Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you,
We
but
can
it's
hear
noisy.
you, but it's not
Okay.
noisy.
Okay, but it's not clear.
The background is
The
noisy,
background
very
is
Very
noisy.
very
noisy.
noisy.
Okay, very
It's
noisy.
very noisy.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me come in. Can you hear me clearly? Good evening.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Please let's exercise patience while Alex fixes his environment. Right. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Please acknowledge if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
All right. Thank you, Judith. All right. So my name is John. I'll be taking you today on our second class. But first, I give assignments on our previous class, and I would like someone to volunteer and then walk me through how they did the assignment. Yes, or you can turn your PC a bit down. All right. Please go ahead, Ebruba Daniel. Yes. I'm turning it on now. Okay. All right. So while we wait for Ebruba Daniel, Kenneth.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening,
Hello.
Kenneth.
I just I am not using my this laptop to do the call, so I can't share my screen, but I can like show it to you through the video. Okay.
You can show it to me
That's
through a
all right.
video call. I didn't get it. Your network
Hello.
was lagging within. I don't know if it's just me or is that likewise for the other person. So I didn't get it.
Okay. Sorry. I said that I am not using my system. I'm not using my system. Yeah. To like do the video. So I want to like share my screen by turning on my video. I don't know if you get me. Hello?
Okay,
I
you
can't share my
didn't join
screen,
the
so I want to
meeting
turn the
with
video on
your you
to
didn't
show
join
you.
the,
Yes,
okay.
with my system. But my system is on.
All right.
Okay.
If that is
So
possible, that would just go ahead.
okay, no problem. So I just simply used um
If sharing the screen will be a problem,
I just simply
just
used this
walk me
thing.
through your process, like how you implemented it and your
Okay.
results.
It's just I used this thing, the code image source equals to my the picture. Okay, firstly I first copied my image into my index file. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I can hear
Hello?
you.
Okay, so first I copied my image into my image index file, like the folder of the front dive folder I created. So I put it in there, and then I came to my coding page, and I put in image img, sorry, after putting the less than img src equals to, then the name of the image was saved with. I don't know if you get me. I wish I could just
Yeah.
hello.
Okay. You saved the name
So
of
and then
the
I
image
put
here and you
in,
then called it in file, right?
yeah, and it's in png, so dot png, and then I put in the width and the height I want it to be 100 px.
Okay.
Okay,
Is there
so
any other thing you
I'll
did apart from you adding the
apart
image
from
source?
before that,
Okay.
yeah, before that, this is just something like before that, I first put paragraph hello world. I don't know if you can
Okay.
see it, and then the image.
Yes.
but it's quite bigger than that. I just reduced it with that width and height 100. If I take it out, if I take out the measurements, if I take out the measurements, yeah, control. If I take out the measurement to
All
be
right.
bigger than that,
All right. So did you experience any challenge trying to implement this or anything at all? Like, was there any blocker?
not really, except the knowing which what do you call it, which width or height to be better. Like how to explain it. Like now I
Oh,
put
okay.
100 width, 100 the height 100, and it became so small. But now look at it without those measurements. Now this is it without the measurement. Can
Yeah,
you
it
see
is. Yeah, but bigger. Yeah.
it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Aside the exact value, there is nothing else. There is no issue, right? You didn't experience any other
No,
issue. I
no,
mean, that's
no, no.
yeah.
This is the code.
Okay.
Can
All
you see
right.
it?
Uh, it's not clear, but I think I saw what I needed already.
Okay.
I've seen what I needed to see already. Well, that's fine. Thank you, Kenneth.
No problem.
Thank you, Kenneth. Yeah. So, Ibu Daniel.
Yeah, GM everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Firstly, I can't. My system. I don't know what's happening to the software, but it's starting up. It's booting. So I'll just use voice to describe how I did it. Actually, it was a little bit challenging for me, but
Okay.
I consulted Ken, and he gave me some tips, some insights on how to go about it. So, can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear. I can hear you.
So, like Ken, I added the first time I did it, I created a wrong folder. So I had to recreate everything from the beginning. I created my folder, then added the image to the folder. Then I used this the code, the tip he sent me. I did my opening tag, use the image element, then my source attribute, put my image name, which is flowers with, I think it was a road with pink flower. Then I gave it an alternate name. However, I noticed that the image element does not actually, mine did not need it did not need a closing tag. I don't know. I just put the width equals to, then quotation. I put the dimensions and the height also. So yeah, that's how I did it. But before that, I did my heading. I used I think heading one. Text was my assignment on image element, and then I used footer to like give a little description of the image, and that's all. That's how I did mine.
I will love to see what you did. Like I like the explanation. You used footer, you also used H1 to give more context to what you are trying to do. Can you just screenshot whatever you have and send it to the channel, to the Slack channel?
Okay, let me do it now. I think I already have the screenshot.
All right, cool. Thank you, Robert Daniel. Thank you. So someone else, you have the floor. Is if no one is volunteering, I will have to randomly select. So I need two more people to tell me how Okay. Miriam, please go ahead. Okay, after Miriam, Christos. Miriam, please go ahead. So after Miriam, yeah.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Good evening, Miriam.
yeah, I'm
Are you still there?
coming. Yes,
All right.
basically, this was what I just did. I created a folder.
You just deleted everything.
Yeah,
There's no, you don't implement, just walk me through what you did, right?
okay, no problem. So I,
Control Z, bring back everything. I need to see everything as it's working. So yeah, just leave it like this. Just tell me what you did.
okay, the first thing I did, I created a folder which I termed as first life code. Then inside the folder, I created a file index.html. Then I had a logo on my system, so I just copied and pasted it right under the folder. So in the title, I gave it first programming code with Dev Africa. Then in the body, for me to show it on the website, I had to go into the body to put the paragraph, which I use the short URL from. Then I did the image. Then I added the source code, which is the name of the image and the alternative name to be a look.
Nice.
Mm.
So let me say the
Okay.
the host, local host on the web. Let me see the code live on
Yeah.
the browser. Okay. Nice. Thank you. This is great. This is good. Okay, so you also did some other things. You created the root HTML and then head and body, right? Did that also from your coding.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. How far have you gone with? Did you try taking any other lesson, or probably doing some research about how to work with HTML, or you already know how to do this?
I know how to work with JavaScript.
That's great. That's cool. Good to know. Thank you, Miriam.
Oh,
Thank you. Christos.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. Just a moment to present my screen.
All right. Miriam, you can stop sharing your screen.
yeah, sure.
Thank you. All right, Christos.
Yes. Okay. Mm, where is my application? How it sends to my VS Code?
Okay.
Did you see my ID?
No, I'm seeing your Slack channel. I think you're currently sharing your Slack channel. Probably share your entire screen or just share your VS Code.
Mm. I don't know how to present my VS Code.
All right. So when you click on the share button, stop sharing your screen for now. When you click on the share button,
Yes,
you're
I
going to
did
see
this.
you're going to see entire screen. Stop sharing for now so that the Slack, you just stop sharing the Slack here. So if you click on it again, you're going to see entire screen by the far right. Select it, then choose the screen and share.
Okay. Okay, I found it.
Yeah, good.
Okay. This is the structure. I have 3 photos in my index file. I have a title, food blog. I have a header class with H1 element. I have a food container, which is in a section. 3 divs with the image container, the title, and info for the food and the image. Now, did you see the result?
Yes, I can see everything. Yeah. You went ahead to, provided like 3 more sections. You have like 3 sections of image container, right? And they all display different contents. Show me your browser. Let me see.
Can you repeat, please? The sound is.
Show me. Yeah, show me
Yes.
your browser,
You?
like
Yeah.
your live
Okay.
server.
Yeah.
But so
Did you
far,
see now the browser?
this is looking very very good. Like you're in Ashura already. This, you created a section, you gave it a class, you created an image, you said okay, food info. Nice. This is looking good. So let me see the results.
Okay, you see now the index file, the browser.
Yes, I can see you have a folder plus O1 assignment, and that's where you have most of the images. Yep. I want to see the results.
I must change again the presentation.
You heard what I said, right? You can hear me? Christos.
Okay, I found it. Yes, now. Just a moment.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
This is the title and the 3 images.
Nice. The title of the page is food blog, and then you have 3 sections showing images of food, and then description. Nice.
Yeah. The title and info and a paragraph with info for the image and the image.
All right. So with I can see your code base here. I just wanted to know, how long have you been working with HTML? Like, what is your experience level with HTML?
Yeah, I know the fundamentals of the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but I have never, been to the next level.
Okay. Okay. But that's great. I mean, we're all going to get to the next level in this session or in this particular. So, everything looks good, Christos. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, Faith, after Faith, we'll start today's class. Faith.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Faith.
Okay, so for me, I had issues really setting up my I had issues with my assignments, but I had to reach out to Daniel and he assisted me with it. Initially, I don't have pictures in my PC, so I had to get some pictures from my phone. I got a food picture, and I added it to a folder in my PC. Then I I wrote a comment, create an image tag and add an image, which is the assignment. Then
Nice.
I use the H1 tag. This site contains food content, food picture rather, and close the tag, the H1 tag. Then below it, I had to write an image tag, IMG, then SRC is equals to the name of the picture. The name I saved the picture with, rise.jpg. Then I closed and I did an alt is equals to a plate of food. That was the name I gave to it. Then just like an insight to what it is, for
Nice.
easy reading. Then I went down, I went below to write style. Like I had to put my picture in a nice shape and frame, which is with 400 px and with 250 px. I'm sorry you can't see my screen because I'm using my phone and it's here. I'm using a PC to just tell you what it is. Then I went below to write a footer, image of a plate of food. Then I closed the footer tag. So that was it. And then, besides, sorry, I saved the picture in a folder. So it was easy for me to call the image to the code with the
Oh,
name.
okay. Oh, that sounds. Can you send the screenshots to the Slack channel too, right? So I can take a look.
Okay, I will. Sure, I will.
So aside adding the image to your folder, was there any other issue?
I had issues. I think I forgot you said we should save, always save. So I had issues. I went on to the display. I kept restarting, refreshing rather, and I wasn't seeing my result. Then so
Oh,
later I noticed that I did not save on my HTML page there.
it's a
That
funny
was the only
experience.
issue I had.
It's a funny experience that will end up happening
A
to,
very
if not one.
I
Exactly.
spent
Yeah.
almost an hour trying to do that, and I forgot I did
I
not save.
Well, it happens. I mean, I think the best thing about this is making these mistakes and then getting a better results from them, right? If you don't make this mistake, we won't know. Now, if you didn't save, you won't. Sometimes you just forget, right, to hit the Control S. You just go to your browser and be refreshing for the entirety of the day. But it happens, right? But then now that it
Yes,
happened to
sir.
you, not sure it's going to happen again, is it?
No, it won't, because I'm very conscious now.
Yeah, that exactly. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you,
I'll be
sir.
wait, I'll be waiting for the screenshot.
Okay, sir.
All right. So thank you everyone for joining. And if you didn't signify or indicate to explain your assignment, don't worry, I will still come to you. I will still come to you guys. I know those that talked about theirs today. And one way or the other, I will definitely get to see everyone's assignments. So I might end up private chatting everyone on the Slack channel. Or just what you're going to do, instead of private chatting, everyone just post a screenshot of your implementation, your code. That's going to be too much on the Slack channel actually. But then just show me only your code, right? Don't worry about the result. Just show me your code. What you did on your code. Just one picture per person. And yeah, let's do that first. Then we can work with that. But any other person here, if you didn't do your assignments because you are having issue doing it or you are experiencing any particular challenge, yeah, just speak up, right? I would like to know what that challenge was, and then or what the challenge is and how to help you out. So you have like a minute or two to indicate if you didn't do it, for those that didn't actually, and but you tried, but then you are having some issues. Emery Godwin. Godwin. Emery, are you there? If you are speaking, you're muted. Okay, so I'm recording, please. When is the deadline? Today is the deadline. In fact, I want to see it now. Now on the Slack channel. Snap it. Just your code, right? Don't send me the results, right? Okay, no problem. Send the code, what you did, to the Slack channel. A picture of it, then I'll work with that.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Got in.
I hope my voice is not that thick.
I can hear you actually.
All right. This is the first time of joining, so honestly, I don't understand anything.
Oh, okay. You missed the first class.
Yeah, I missed the first class due to some unforeseen circumstances.
All right,
So
that's understandable. But are you on the Slack channel?
yeah.
But you saw there is a post of the link for the first class. Have you been able to,
Actually, I just got the post this evening. I just started the recording, but I could not finish. I had to join you people. I stopped at, I think, 30 something, this is 37 minutes. That's where I stopped. So I think after this section, I'll go back to the recording.
all right, no problem. The good thing is we're in the weekends already, so you might find some other sometimes within to watch the previous one also. I mean, you're already on this one, so I hope whatever we discuss today will find its way to you, right?
Yeah, no problem.
But however, the classes are being recorded, so you can still make reference to them if what we are saying currently might seem off, right? Wanted to say
Okay.
something.
You said?
Wanted to say something.
No, you just said it now because I'm just trying to, if your explanation is somehow, strange to me because this is first time of joining. So that is why, but you just said it. I will just wait. But if there's anything, can I reach out to you?
Yeah, just drop whatever challenge you might be having on the Slack channel. I will attend to it. Just tag me. My name is John.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Godwin. All right. So one more thing before we proceed. We now have a class captain, right? Jiggy, are you on the call? Sorry, what is your name actually? It says Jiggy on Slack channel. Oh, Joshua Amos.
Yes, sir. My name is Joshua.
Oh, okay, Joshua. Um. So Okay. All right, no problem. I just wanted to get to know your name actually. I was just saying Jiggy and it wasn't. Was well done, Joshua. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about what we did in our last class, right? Just a brief of what we did, a summary of everything we did, and then now jump into a code along. So last class we talked about the web, what web is generally, what front end is, the role of a front end developer, if you remember everything, and then we also get to discuss IDE. Joshua, I need to mute. Thanks. We got to discuss IDE using VS Code, right? That's the IDE we are going to be using. And then we created a file. So I got to understand just with the preview or with the those that shared the assignments and how they did that, most of us have actually gone far when it comes to the basics on HTML. But for the sake of everyone being on the same page, however, we are going to be, picking every topic, but we'll just find a way and speed it up. Then after every class, I urge us all to, still go back, not just the video, make some researches, right? There are documentations out there that will get you familiar with how to use HTML. Just Like, just keep writing, yeah, keep coding, just keep doing something, keep trying to, if you can look at a website that you enjoy visiting, try doing something similar to that, right? That will just help you build your skills on how to use HTML, how to make any applications and every other thing, right? So that is that. So today we are going to be talking about image, of course. For some of us that didn't do our assignments, we're still going to do one or two examples using the image tag, and then quickly jump into what we have for today. Share my screen. Give me a minute. Yes, Debbie. Please indicate if you can see my screen. Thank you, Joshua. Debbie, raise your hand.
Sorry, please, it's a mistake. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so this is what we talked about last session, and we tried connecting, doing the anchor tag, right? Like connecting to Google and LinkedIn. Hope you have not forgotten about this. It's essential because most of the time you're going to be applying similar implementation. So creating an image, there is what we call void elements. So someone mentioned when they were presenting the assignment that they tried closing the image tag, but it will, like, according to what their research, you can't, right? Yeah. So there's what we call void elements or self-closing elements. Hey, this is self. Sorry. So there's what we call void elements. You can either call it void elements or self-closing elements. So they are, sorry, I should zoom in. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my screen now? I can't. Do I need to reshare? Sorry, can anyone else see my screen? Or okay. Yes. Okay. So please, Ayomide, please mute your mic. Thanks. Okay, so there's what we call void elements or self-closing tags. So it can be tags or elements. Remember, like I said in the previous class, right? So void elements or self-closing tags or elements are elements that doesn't have a closing, right? You will just close it on the first opening tag. So how do we write void elements? So remember your less than, the name of the element, and then this is how you close void elements. Okay, the name here can be the name of the tag, right? Whichever tag it is that doesn't have a closing tag. So this is how to close it. You start with the less than, the name of the tag, and then you close it like this. Instead of having it again in this way. I don't know if you're the only one. I can't see the screen. Wow. Okay, let me just stop sharing and share again. All right, so I just stopped sharing and I'm sharing again. Please, Ayomide, Google, check and confirm again. If not, I recommend you probably Try resetting your network. All right, so let me go back. An example of a void element, the first void element I'm going to talk about is the image tag, right? And how to represent the image tag is with img. So if you want to put image on your element or on your public page or your website, use img. Img means image. And image tag have several attributes, but we'll be using two of it, right? So the first attribute is the source. And how to represent source is src, right? src means source. I can only use source, this particular attribute, on image tag. So you can't use source on p tag or h1 tag or any other tags. Is dedicated just to image tag. So you have the equals to. This is where we're going to put the value of or whatever our source is, right? And then we have another tag called alt. Alt means alternate text, right? This alt is going to stand in when the source we provided is broken. So there are some websites I visit and the image might be broken. Then you see a text by the side. You might just see logo or whatever the text is, right? So this is where that text was added. So in our own case, let's just do a quick image. Food image. So there's something we need to know here. It's not a must that we're going to download the image inside. It's not a must that you're going to have the image inside on your directory, right? You can still copy the link to that image, okay? You can copy the link to the image. And how to copy the link to the image on your web is just right click on that particular image that you want to use or make reference to. When you right click, look for copy image address, okay? Not copy link or copy clean link. No, look for copy image address. So this is the link to the image. So if you click on copy image address, go back to your source and impute it there. Don't worry about the length. It might be long, yeah. So this is our source. This is the link. Now my text is going to be, my alternate is going to be food image. I'll tell you why we have alternate. Okay, here's go live. Remember how to go live, right? Right click, then open with live server. So this is my image. Okay, don't worry about the width or the height or the size. We'll work on that later. But for now, this is my image. Now, when is this alternate going to come in play? This alternate is going to come in play when the image you are viewing is broken. Let me just bring this image. Yeah, I can just like corrupt the name of the image. I might just say put W here. I mean, initially there's no W, but I'll just put W. Now, when I go back and refresh, you'll see that the image is now broken. Now, what's standing for us is now the food image. That's this particular alternate that I added here. If I say any other thing, let me just say vegetables. If I rename it to vegetables, come back here. If I refresh, it's going to say vegetables because the image was not found. The system was not able to find the image. Now it's going to use the alternate instead. So that's how to use the image tag, right? So that's one of the self-closing tags we have. That's one of the void elements. Another closing tag that we have is BR. BR is mostly line break. So if you want to have space between two elements, you can just use BR in between. It's a self-closing tag, also a void element. Okay, we'll still make use of BR as we proceed. There are other ones. There are many of them actually, but there is impute. There's also another tag called impute. Okay, what is impute? When you go to a website and you want to log in, you're going to see sometimes you're going to see enter your email, enter your password. Are you with me? Enter your email, enter your password. If I refresh, you're going to see the impute here. So we can type anything we want inside. We'll still get to use impute. Okay? Impute is a void element. Now let's tweak this input. Let's modify this input. Input has a unique attributes, and one of them is placeholder. Okay, placeholder. You can say enter. Sorry, enter your email. Now, when I go back, if I refresh, you're going to see enter your email inside. So you can see some site, you see something, a text standing in for your value. So when there is no value, you see this text, but when there's a value, the text will disappear. So if I enter my email, let's say John, the text disappears. Or if I just try typing anything, text disappears. That's what placeholder does. It stands in, or it stays in place of the value, just to give more discretion to the input. Okay, so that's for the void element. And now we know what input is used for taking inputs, right? Accepting values from the users. And we can also have another one. Yeah, there's another input. We can have another input. Let's say this input, let's close it and set the placeholder to enter your password. And if I go back, I'll see two inputs on the table. We have one input, enter your email. We have another input, enter your password, right? Now, if I type my password is going to be visible. I remember there are some sites that when you're typing your password, you can't see it. It's just be represented by asterisk, right? And how to do that is you just say there's another attribute called type. You can just say type equals to, set the type to password. So you're now telling the system that this input is a password input. So put extra layer of security to it, right? So now when I go back, if I type, you see, no matter what I type, it's not going to show. It's just going to be represented with asterisk or dot. So yeah, that's that. I believe this is I believe you understood, right? If you're not getting what I'm explaining, please indicate so I can, reiterate. And so that is it for inputs or for void elements, right? So there's what we call DOM. Because what we have been doing since, this is not the way to write a HTML file. I mean, these are the things you need to use. These are the elements you need to be able to write a HTML, like write on HTML, right? But there is a structure that the browser needs, or there's a structure to represent your website so that you can have access to all the features, both changing the title, the logo, and every other information, and the metadata too. So there's a structure to it. And that structure is what we call DOM. So DOM, D-O-M, DOM means document object model. Please know all these things, right? DOM means what? Document. Sorry. DOM means document object model. Okay? So this is the model, this is the structure of how our HTML file must look like. Okay, just like you have, just assume this to be a tree. Just like you have a tree, before you see other parts of a tree, the first thing that comes out is the root. Sorry, the first thing that starts growing is the root, right? After the roots, we have the branch, sorry, the stem. Then after the stem, we have the branches. So that is how, that's a more descriptive or more analogy to what DOM represents. So I'm going to show us a picture real quick of what DOM is and how it looks like. Just give me a minute. So this is a DOM. This is the representation of a DOM, right? You can see DOM, document object model. is a tree that provides hierarchical representation of a web page structure. It transforms the HTML document into a tree-like structure where each node corresponds to a part of the document. So we have the document, we have the HTML, then under the HTML have two children, which is the head and the body. Then inside the head, we can have metadata, we can link in every other assets that we have, and then we also have the title of that particular web or that particular page. Then we have the body. The body is now where we put in all these things we have learned from the previous lesson and also the one we're going to learn in this lesson. So the body, you can put your H1, your H2, your P tag, your image, your inputs, and every other thing. That's where that's what body contains. All right. So this is the structure of how HTML must look like. Now, how can we represent this on our file, on our HTML file? Now, going back to our HTML file, I'm going to remove everything here. Okay. You're going to start with, there's a better way to write it here, but I will still write it out one by one so we can get used to it. Use exclamation mark, then you write doc type. Okay. Sorry, I'm coming. So you first use the less than exclamation mark, then doc type. You're telling the doc type that, okay, this type is HTML, right? And then close it. That's what this means. Then the next thing is the HTML. Open it, open the HTML and close it. Please, hope you guys are coding along. If we go back to that, reopen. If we go back, we see that the first thing is document, which in our case is the document type, right? So we have the documents already at the top, at the first line of the file. Then the next thing is what? HTML. Okay, which is this HTML. All right, and inside HTML we have head and body. So which means HTML has two children, which is the head and the body. And how do you represent children in HTML? You have to come inside, not after. I will not come after and be writing like after HTML has ended and be writing head and body. No, I have to go inside of it because it is the children of HTML. So go inside, click enter. Okay, just go inside, click enter. This thing is the same thing. HTML started here, HTML ended here. So now we have our head. Write out your head. Also, write out the body. So this is a representation of what we have here. And this is the way is a must. This is the structure you have to follow to write a HTML code. This is the structure. Start with the HTML, then head and body. Okay? Then I'll tell us what the head entails. I'll still tell us how to, or what the body entails. But before that, please signify if you're coding along with me. Yeah, thank you, Miriam. All right. Nice. Okay. All right. So in the head part of the HTML, we have a lot of tags there. So that's where we write the meta tags, the SEO. SEO means search engine optimization, right? That's what we use to, optimize the our website. Let's say we are done building a website, and then we want the website to be recognized by Google and more features to it. So this is where we write it on the header tag. Right, we are still going to get to the part where we are going to be, using meta tags to create or create more SEO based code. So, but one thing I need here from this head is the title. So write your title, open and close. Remember, everything is inside the head. Write your title, open and close it. Right? We can call our title anything. Let's say our title is Dive Africa Front End. Dive Africa Front End. Dive Africa front-end class. So what does the title do? Now we're telling the browser that, okay, in my code base, change the title to Dive Africa. Where is the title located? This information is here at the top tab. Let me delete this. This information we see, because we didn't provide a title here, the browser automatically use the link as the title. But once we provide a title, it's going to use ours. Now, when I refresh, you're going to see Dive Africa front-end class here. Have you seen it? So that's the title. So what is this is just like the header part and every other meta tags. Now, this white space you see here is your body. Everything inside this white space is the body. Then here is the head of the HTML file. All right, so that's for title. Then inside our body, we can now write our tags. Remember our H1. Make sure you are inside the body, not outside of it, not after it has ended. Make sure you're inside the body. If not, you're not going to see what you're doing, or you're not going to be seeing the results. We can have our H1. You can have our H1, open and close it as front-end class. And if I go back, yeah, you can see it here, boldly written, front-end class. All right. Please, are we following? Okay. So yeah, that's that. So with there here, we can write our code. We can, remember how we do it. Write your you can create your image here too. You can say image, close it, src, sorry, src. But this time around, let me check for coding image, since we are now strictly into coding. Remember how to copy image from the browser. Select, then copy image address. Then paste. Just paste it inside the src. Then you can now write your alt as coding. Then if you come back, you're going to see the image here. All right. So that's that, right? So now let's start talking about CSS. Remember the time I was doing the class, in our last class, I told you that CSS is used for, giving your HTML file more look to it, right? Like making it look more, just beautifying it, right? Putting padding, putting background colors and all that. So with CSS, we can achieve that. And in CSS has 3 ways of using it in an HTML file. We have the inline, we have the internal, and we have the external. Inline, internal, and external. So how do we write inline? Inline CSS, remember what CSS means, guys? CSS means cascading style sheets. Inline CSS is writing the CSS attributes or the CSS properties inside that particular tag. That's the inline. Exactly. Thank you, Miriam. Inline, internal, and external. So we're going to talk about the inline first. Okay. Now the first attribute we're going to talk about is color. And how to write inline CSS. You just come to the opening tag. Make sure you're in the opening tag. If the tag has open and close, go to the opening tag, just make a space and write style. Okay. What is happening? Sorry, why is this in 3? Okay. Write style and then open and close it. Then your style, you can now say color. You can give your color any color. Just say black. No, let's say red. Okay, that will be obvious. So color, red. So this is how to write CSS properties. Inside your style, you're going to write the property name. The property name is the first thing you're going to write. Then after the property name, you're going to use the semicolon. Sorry, the colon. Yeah. So after this colon, you now write the value. Okay. And the value in our own case is red, but the property is what? Color. We are now saying that, please, my system, this front-end class gave the color to red. Now, if I go to my browser, I'll see that the front-end have changed to red. The front-end class has changed to red. So I can say green. Come back, it is green. Well, let me remove the image for now. Okay, are we following? If you have any question, you can ask now. No question. Okay, yeah, we can continue. So there is also another thing, another property in CSS. But in this particular inline, you can add multiple properties, right? You can add a lot of properties, and how to differentiate them or how to separate them. So still inside our value area for the style, at the end of the first one is color set to green. At the end, put a semicolon. Sorry. Yeah, put a colon. You're not telling the computer that, okay, this is where this first color or this first CSS property ends. If you don't put this colon, the system will not recognize what you're doing. Okay. So after the first one, put a colon. Then we have another one called background color. You can set our background color to green. No, okay, color is red. You can set our background color to be black. You can set our background color to be black. Now, when I go back, you can see now the background color is black and the text is green. So this is one of many ways to use CSS. There are a lot of properties. We're going to talk about them as we proceed. So this is how to apply background color. And then there's another property. Remember this semicolon here. This is what it's telling. If I remove this semicolon now, save. If I go back, you see nothing is affecting because the system is not recognizing what I'm doing. It's not even recognizing what I wrote before because I've didn't put a separator. And how to separate this is just by using semicolon. All right, so there's another property called text align. I remember this is where my background color started. This is where it ended. I can edit here just to write another one. The next one is text align. It's my colon. In after text align, I can say center. Now I'm telling my system, this particular front-end class, give the color to be green, also change the background color to black, and then align the text in the center. That's how to align text. Just see text align center. Now when I go back, you see that the front-end class is now in the middle. It's now in the center of the page. Remember, it was at the left. It was aligned to the left before. If I remove the text center, text align center, save, come back, you see it is aligned to the left. We're bringing it back. Yeah, bringing it back, we have the text to the center. We also have text align right. You can also say, sorry, you can also say text align to the right. So now it goes to the right. Okay. So that's for text align. We have text align left, center, and then right. Please ask your questions. If you're having any issue, if your one is not working, please make sure you're coding along. If what you're doing currently is not working, signify. You can look at it real quick. No issues. All right, Faith.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to walk along, but it keeps displaying the text I'm writing, the sky color and green background. That's what it's coming up. The text color green and background black. That's what it's coming up. It's not coming up as a color itself.
I'm not sure I get what is not coming up as a color.
Okay, it's
like,
coming up as a text in my browser instead of the color.
Okay, so the colors you added on your style attributes is not affecting. Is that it?
Yes, sir. That's what I mean.
Okay. Please confirm that you are separating every property with this semicolon. And make sure you ended the file. Is the file showing red? Is it showing red line anywhere?
No, it's not.
I wonder what might be the problem. Please confirm that all your implementation is this way, is the same way.
Okay, I will.
All right. Okay, so yeah, we have color, we have background color, we have text align. There are other ones. So we are going to like jump into them. But let me change this to a more welcoming color. Let me say yellow or yellow green. Okay, yeah, this looks good. Then let's remove text align or just say center and save. Okay. All right, so now let's talk about box model. So there's what we call box model. Like, remember we talked about div the last time, yeah? Okay. Let's say this is the content. The content of our div, right? There's what we call box model. All right. Box model can be considered as boxes on HTML, right? They are used when talking about design layout. You can use them to, put border, the color, sorry, to a particular div. We can also use them to put padding and margin. Now we're going to talk about padding. We're going to talk about margin. But first, let me share the screen. So I want us to also always make reference to W3 schools, okay? I want us to also make reference to W3 schools because every particular feature that have to do with HTML or CSS, you can find them here. And you can read in more details. And also here, you can do more examples with it, right? So for now, we're talking about box model. So box model is just how a box is represented on HTML. Okay, we have the content, we have the padding, we have the borders, we have the margin. That's what we have here. Okay, we have the content, the padding, the margin. So what is content? Content is obviously what we have inside the box. So in our own case, div is the box. Okay, div is the box, and what we have inside the box is what we call content. So anything we have inside this particular div is the content. Now, padding. Padding is the space between the content and the border. Let's say you have a div here. Let's say I give this div style. Let me give it a background color of blue. Come back here, refresh. Now we can see our content here, right? Let me zoom in. You can see our content. Let me give the content white. Let it be a little bit visible. And say color white. And if I go back and see here, the color of the content is now white. Okay, so this is the background color. So everything inside this background color is the content. Then padding is the space. So this is the border. This is the border of this content, right? Like this outer part, right? That surrounds this content. That's the border. I mean, the term border, we can use it on our day-to-day life, right? It means the outer layer of a particular environment or a surrounding. So that's what we call border. That's what border is in this scenario. That's these edges. That's the border of this particular div or this particular box. Now, what is padding? Padding is the space between the content and the border. Okay? Padding is what? The space or the gap between the content and this border. You can see that this content is so tight to the left, right? You can also see it's obviously closer to the top. Okay, but then we can add more padding to it just to give it more space, make it look a little bit comfortable in that box. Now we can say padding. You can say padding. There are a lot of paddings here. You can say what paddings here. We have normal padding. When you set normal padding, it means if you set a padding and give it a value, it means all the sides are taking that same value. But if you specify a particular side, let's say padding left, we have padding right, we have padding top, we have padding bottom, we have padding. No, we'll talk about these ones later. But padding left, right, top, and bottom. That's what we're going to make reference to. But Daniel, you raise your hand.
No, I'm just trying to follow up through. It's still giving me issues, sha, but no worry, continue. I'll watch the video later.
Okay. But what issue are you having though?
The background color mine was not showing, so I look at your own. It was the quote mark that was not there, so I added the quote mark not too long ago, and the thing is showing now. So all good.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. That's great. Okay. So all right, no problem. Don't worry, the video will make made available for everyone to rewatch. So now this is padding here after color white. This is padding. Let's say padding hyphen left. This is how to specify a particular value for a padding left. Padding left, you can see padding left to be 4 big X. So the unit of measurement in HTML is px, that's pixels. All right, you can say 4 px to the left of that content. Now, when I go back to the content, you can see that there is a space now between the C and the left border. Okay, let me just make it obvious. Let me make it 20. Remember where it was here? It was here. Then I'm changing it to padding 20. Now, if I save, go back, you can see the space is now bigger. So the padding left is now larger, right? And then the padding top and bottom is still small. So now let's work on that. Let's add padding top and padding bottom. Remember, after each property and the value, put a semicolon and then write the next CSS property. Let's say padding top, padding hyphen top. Let's say padding top is 50 px. I won't save this thing yet, but let's go back to this. You can see the space here. Yeah? Now, when we add a padding top is the space between the content and the top border. That's what padding top means. So now when I save, go back to this, now you can see that space from the content and the top border. It is 50, which is very, very big. But let me just reduce it to, let me reduce it to 20. Go back, yeah. And see the space a little bit smaller now. Now let's add a padding bottom so that the space between the content and the top border and the content from the bottom border will be the same. So now we can see padding bottom. Set it to 20 px. Now you can see now the content is now comfortably aligned on the box because the padding left, the padding top, and the padding bottom is the same value. You can also say padding right to be 20 px, but that will not be obvious because our content is not aligned to a line, so we'll not be able to see it. For us to see it, let's align this content to the right. Remember how to align content. You use text align and set it to what? Right. Remember our content was aligned to the left by default, but when we say text align to right and save, the text is going to go to the right. You can see it here, the content. But the content is it's very close, like it's tight with the border at the right because we have not specified any padding yet. Now let's do it. Padding right 20 px and go back. You can now see there's now a space between the content and the padding. All right. Are we following?
No, please, I'm having issue. Yeah, this padding right, I've not gotten it. Mine is not even showing itself.
Have you aligned your content to the right yet?
No, I've not reached the other side. After the color, the padding that you did, I've not done that. I'm having
Okay.
issue
No.
with it.
Okay. Please let me know what the issue is exactly. Like you have not done it or you have done it, but there is issue.
After the color, I wrote the padding, but it's not coming out.
Did you
I
write
wrote
padding
padding,
left?
yes, but my own is not showing all those PS. It's showing me 0%, zero cap, zero
No, type
ECM,
it out. Type it out. Type it 20px.
20px.
Yeah, just type
Okay,
it
I've
out.
typed it out. Then let me save. Okay, the thing has work now. The padding has work.
Yeah, so you have control. Yeah, you are the one that will choose the value you want. You can type it out, right? Just do it to your will. Well done.
Okay.
All right. So that is that for padding. Now let's talk about margin. Remember, this is how to this is how to write inline CSS. If you remember, and how to write inline CSS is inside the attribute or inside the attribute space of that particular element. This is our H1 and this is our style. So this is the inline style. This is where it started, this is where it ended for H1. And then for our div, this is where it started, this is where it ended. And everything is within this style attributes. Okay, so this is how to write inline styles. So yeah, let's do margin. Now what is margin? Margin is the space between an element or between the space between the box and the outer elements, right? Like the margin is the one outside of that element. Okay, so if I can say margin top now, if I increase the value of margin top, you see that there will be a space between this contents now and this front end class here. So padding is within the contents. That's the difference between margin and padding. Padding, it's P, is within the contents, but margin is outside the box entirely, just giving it more space outside the box. So if I add margin, instead of giving gap or space within the box, it's going to be outside. Let me say margin top. Margin top. Let's say margin top to be 50px. I will not save it yet, but take a look. See this gap here, yeah? Oh, don't worry. See this gap here. If I save this, it's going to increase. I don't know if you noticed. Now if I increase, let me make it 100 so it will be more obvious. 100px, margin top. You see the space. So margin is the space between the particular box and then the outer elements. Okay, it just gives it more space to stay on its own or something. So this is for inline styles. Now let's do internal styles. Okay, internal styles. This is how to write inline styles. If you want to write a particular style specific to a particular element, this is how to write it. But then to do internal styles, we write it on the header elements, inside the header elements. Remember, we have head or the head and the body of the HTML. So for internal styles, you write it inside of the header elements. So for us to write internal style, we have to come after the title has ended, just hit enter, then start with a style element and close it. Is now a tag, is now an element. Instead of an attribute, is now an element inside the header component or the header element. So here we can use selectors. That's how we can reference a particular style to a particular element on the body. So now let's have another div down here. Okay, no, instead of having another div, let's work on this style. Remember we talked about an attribute called class. Yeah, we can call this class as, just call it anything you want. We can say content. Okay. Now in our internal style component, we want to reference this particular div. We want to reference it and give it a style. How to make that reference is on here. You can come and write that particular content. That's this class. Whatever you give it, whatever the value you give it is, copy it, just paste it here. But then, because it is class, you use what? Dot before it. That's how to select class. So any class that you have, if you want to select on your style elements, you use dot before it, before the name of that class. Then open and close a curly braces. We call this a curly braces. You can find it by the far right of your keyboard. After you have selected the content, you just say open and close the curly braces. Then inside here, you can just carry everything you have here on your style. Copy everything here, then paste. Now, if I remove this, if I save, the style will remain the same thing. Let me remove the margins. But if I break this, let me say I remove T. The name is now connect or connect. But there is no style named connect here. There's no class named connect. So if I save, it's not going to affect. So it's listening to a class called content and is applying all these CSS properties that we gave it into that particular class. Now there's another way we can do this. So let me put back the thing. There's another way we can do that. I think I went very far ahead. We could have started with the name of the elements first. There's another way we can select in CSS. We have another way, which is just the name of the element. So you can just point out the particular element you want to style. And the element you're styling is div, right? So you can just say div instead of dots. Yeah, you can just say div. That's div. That's all. Because it's an element, you don't put any dots in front of it. That's how to select elements. Okay. So we are now saying in our style components or internal style, select div where div is, and then apply all these styles inside of it. You can see it's still the same thing. So now let's give our body color. Remember our body is here, right? Let's say our body, by default, our body is white. But then we can change the color from our internal style. We can just come here. Because body is an element, there's only putting dots or full stop before it. Just say body. Open and close your curly braces, remember? And then enter. We can say background color. Set it to orange. Then when you go back, you can see that all the background color have changed to orange. Please, are we following? Are we following?
Yes, we are following.
All right, cool. So this is how to write internal styles, okay? So one more thing is external styles. External styles is the one you write outside of this particular HTML file. Now let me bring back my directory. Okay, so now let's create another file inside our directory. Can call it styles.css. Styles.css. Okay, why are we calling it .css? Is because our styling file. And remember how we did HTML. .html, we're telling the computer this is an HTML file, so treat it as such. And then CSS, we use .css to end the file. So you can give it any name you want, but then end with what? .css. You're not telling the computer that this is a CSS file and treat it as such, right? And our styles, all our styles, we're going to write it on this external file. So most of the times, external styling is recommended so that you can have a clean code. If you look, we have just a lot of things. So we need our HTML element to just be here, then our styles to be here, all right, in external file. So now we can copy all these classes that we have here. Can copy both the body and every other thing. Or I can remove everything entirely. Can copy everything. Then come here and paste it. Okay. It's still the same thing, the same way of writing internal style. That's how you write external ones. It's just that the file is now outside instead of inside the HTML file. Okay. So now, since we have all these things on an external CSS file, we can remove everything here. Let's close everything out and save. Now, when we go back, nothing happens. In fact, let's try this front-end class outside too. Remember the class? Let's call it H1. That's the only H1 we have. So go back to your styles. Set H1. What did we give it? Open and close. Remember, our H1, we gave it color green. You can as well copy everything here. Come here, then paste it inside of your H1 selector and save. That's all. So now when we remove the one here, remember this is our internal one. Remove it, then come back. Everything reset back to default. Why? Because we have not linked this external CSS inside our HTML. So we have a CSS outside. We have a CSS properties outside, but then our HTML doesn't know that we have our particular CSS. So we need to reference this into this particular HTML file so that it's going to use that file for our stylings. And how to do that, we are going to come to the header or the head tag inside the HTML file. That's the first one before the body. Inside of it, after the title, type in link. We use link to link everything outside of CSS or outside of the HTML file into the file. So use link. You can close it. It's a void element. So the first thing we are going to, the first attribute we have here is rel. And we're saying rel is what? Style sheet. Sorry, move everything here. What this rel means is we are telling that, okay, the link we are connecting or whatever we're about to link now is a style sheet. Okay, if you don't specify this, the computer will not read it well. So we need to tell the computer first that what we are importing or what we are about to connect to our HTML file is a style sheet file. Okay, then the next thing is the href. Href means the reference where the file is exactly. Okay, and what's the name of the file? Remember, it is styles.css. That's what we're going to write inside of here. Styles.css. Any mistake, it will be broken. Now, when I come back, all the styles are back. So now I can now continue doing my styles on the external CSS file. If I change this color to red, that's the body color. Remember the body, I gave the body color. If I change the body background color to red, come back at it, everything is now red. If I change it to what color is obvious, purple. Come back, everything is now purple because we have successfully linked the CSS external file inside our HTML using this method. So that's it for the class. That's just basically everything, right? So if you have any question, ask real quick so that I can address them before we call it a day. Oh, you're unable to copy in VS Code, Jairus. So just highlight whatever you want to copy, just highlight it first. Just use your mouse, then click and drag to wherever you want to, whatever you want to copy here to the end of it. Then Control C. And then where you want to paste it, then Control V. Jairus, that was clear. Jairus, are you still here? All right, Chibike David.
All right. My question is not pertaining to class. Actually, everything you said was quite understandable. But what I want to ask was, I I wasn't in the class earlier. I came in late, so I did not know if emphasis was laid on the assessment that was passed to us. As in, was it day before yesterday? So I'm trying to know if we should take it or just are we going to just let it go or something?
No, we're not going to let it go. Send a picture of it. And also on this class, we're going to be discussing a version control platform using GitHub.
Okay.
So subsequent times when we have assignments, we are just going to push our assignments on there, and then I'll now have access to.
Sorry for cutting you off, please. I'm talking about an assessment that was sent to our Gmail, not the assignment. The assessment. There was an assessment that was sent by is it Get Linked or something like that?
Oh, okay.
Mr. John, let me take that. So, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So, good evening, guys. Well done, sir. Well done, Mr. John. I was doing the class on the side. So, quickly on the assessment. So, GetLink is running an assessment, a preliminary assessment, but it's done batch by batch, right? So, it has not gotten to the front end class yet. So, you might just want to ignore that for now. On the day that you get to the front end class, you would get a representative from GetLink will be on the call, right? So, and you guys will get a better explanation, but for now, just keep it on the side, and hopefully by next week you'll see them on one of your classes coming to let you understand how their talent pool works and how you get qualified to join their intern talent pool after the training, after the boot camp rather. So, but for now, just ignore it. I think it was over. There was an error. There was a glitch in the collision of the data before it was sent. So it was supposed to be sent to the data and the product design class. So, but you get yours hopefully by next week. So for that,
Thank you very much. Mr. John, good class. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shivika. All right. Any other question, please? Yes, Ebruba Daniel.
Please, when will the lecture be available on YouTube so I can go through it? Because honestly, I don't understand anything today. I understand small, but that styling, I don't understand that. So I want to take my time to learn it. So I want to know when it will be available.
Yeah, by tomorrow you're going to have it available. The link will be shared on the channel, on the Slack channel when it's available. And it's okay, it's normal not to get it at first. But just the best thing to do afterwards is just to practice and practice. Also make some research, ask questions on the call, probably on the Slack channel. If you direct them to me, I'll be available to answer.
The div keep confusing me, sha. The div, ed. God, wow. That div, I don't know what the use of the div. Is it to differentiate? At least to let me check my book. I think I wrote it down before. Div.
All right, so div is a HTML element that can be used in different scenarios, right? But mostly is widely used just for wrapping or a particular content. That's why in my scenario, I just have div and I have a text representation of a content. Your content might be other elements. We're still going to talk about nesting elements, right? Like writing an element inside another element. Just like we have, these are elements, h1 and div, they are elements, right? Body is also an element. And this h1 and div are nested inside a body. That's what we call nested elements. So div can serve as a container.
Body.
Sorry?
I say the div and the body and h1, they are inside the body.
They are inside the body, exactly. So in our case, body is wrapping h1 and div. But we
Okay.
know what body is. Body is obviously the white space we have on a blank page, right? But inside
Mm.
our page or inside our own body, we cannot have div to serve or wrap a particular content. So when you have let's say you have, let me just do it now. Let's say inside this content, inside this particular div, you want to write multiple elements. Like you want to write name, gender, every other thing. You can just use div and wrap it. Okay, it can serve for any purpose, but mostly for wrapping content.
Okay. All right, Lana.
So you can have another P page. Okay, just like that. Everything is now inside div. So if I want to style everything here, I can just style the div. Okay, I can just style the div once. Let's say I want to give everything, both P, age, and every other thing. Every other information I want here, I want to give them a unique class. I want them to be all the same, a particular content. Let's say I want to give them background color. I'll wrap everything on a div, then give the div the background color. Everything inside will just align. Can I see your CSS? Can I choose you? Okay. All right. This is my CSS. But I already took the assessment when there was no update on the announcement channel. Hakeem,
Can you please scroll down? Let me just get everything. I missed out a bit. Okay,
all right.
thank you.
Hakeem. Hello, Hakeem. Are you there? If you're still here, please make more contents to your question. Which assessment are you talking about?
It was the assessment that they sent to our email. Although I saw product design, a lot of people asked. Nobody answered. Some people were like, "We should take it because it was supposed to be due tomorrow." So I had no choice. I took it this evening, though.
Akim, if you have taken it, there's not a problem. I think it will be ignored. But for those who have not taken, please you can just let it slide. But if you have taken, not a problem. Your response would likely be ignored here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right. So if you have more questions, please ask. What does the curly braces do? Can I write without them? No, you can't. So there are rules that you follow while programming. So those rules, you must abide by them, else you are going to get a corrupted implementation. So for CSS, you have your selector. The first thing is the selector. That's the name of that element or the class, right? And then if you want to wrap all your styles inside, you must start with the curly braces and end it with the curly braces. So you must use them. That's for gyrus. Any other question? All right, so there's something that I would like to comment. On the Slack channel, I noticed that some of us were posting our challenges while trying to do the previous assessment or assignment, the one I gave, right? And then everybody, if not, or most of the people were just, giving suggestions on how to go about it. And I would like to comment that I think that is also the reason why we have everyone on the same group or on the same channel, so that we can both share our issues or what we're having problem at, and then help each other out. So just continue with that, continue that collaboration, because you're going to need that skills on the long run when you start, working on a larger sector. So it's good to build them now, build them up now, and then collaborate more on the Slack channel. That's why we have them. Nobody is there to keep quiet. Please drop every issue you're having. If you have a work that you like to share, you can also drop it down there. It's good that we learn from each other. We must not only learn when we come together for our weekly classes. We can do that personal level too. So yeah, that's that. So no more question. In absence of no other question, our assignment is build a portfolio All right. Build a portfolio of yourself. Put your own image, your own profile picture, and then your name, about you, what you do, and then your level of experience, or what. Well, just give me more contents about what, why you are here for this program and why you want to become a front-end developer. Tell me about yourself, and then your reason for taking up this course. That's what the assignment is. A portfolio of yourself, your image can be as you can design as and however you want it to look like here. And then put in your name, every other details about you, and then about you, and then why you are taking this course or this program. Kenneth,
Okay, so sorry. Can we get a reference for the portfolio?
get a reference.
Yes, in creating the portfolio. You get
like like a like a design, like how you want it, like a design to look at,
something like that.
something like that.
Or or a website that shows some sample, some portfolio sample, so we can get an idea of how a portfolio should look like.
Okay, I will. Give me a minute.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, honestly, I want you all to just go and think of how you want your portfolio to look like, because throughout this course we're going to be building it, like, again and again and again, right? So I will share my own portfolio, a portfolio that I did when I was on a boot camp a few years ago. So yeah, this is mine. You can do anything. You can this is mine. This is how I did it then. I haven't touched it for like years. This working experience, education, professional certificates, every other thing. Yours might not be like this. It's not a must. You can still look out for design ideas on uh design ideas on Dribble, Behance. Now, this portfolio, we are going to continue working on it. All right, you're going to continue making changes to it throughout the entirety of this session or the entirety of this program. So whatever you have by the end, or whatever you do before the next class, that's not going to be the final stage, because we are also going to build portfolio along. The next time we're going to build a portfolio as a code along. Yeah, Kenneth.
So I can't see it very well.
You can't see it very well.
Can you like zoom out a bit?
Don't worry, I'll share the link on the Slack.
Okay.
All right. If there is no more questions, we can all call it a day. Nothing else, right? Jairus. Okay, no other question. All right.
I guess I know
yeah.
that question. And
Yes.
And your community manager, I don't know if he's still here or he's having issues with his network. Alex, are you still here? I think he was having issues on his end. Alex, are you still here? Please confirm for me. Oh, okay. I guess he's not here. So once again, Mr. John, thank you for the class today. Please, can you come again with the assignment? Okay, so I think the assignment is that you build a portfolio of yourself and for yourself rather. If you do not have, if you do not have an idea of how to navigate it, you could look online to get an idea of designs that you can use. But just build a portfolio of yourself. Very important, because over the next couple of classes, what you've built is what you'll be improving on. So as you're learning new stuff, those stuff will be implemented on your portfolio. So when you guys now move to JavaScript, you'll just be making adjustments on on the assignment that you've built now. So it's very important that you do the assignment and then submission. I think you already explained the submission model, and so the deadline for the assignment is I think I got that Wednesday before the next class on Wednesday. So it's very important that you do these assignments. The assignment won't just qualify for the bootcamp, but it will help improve your own skill for the class. So you will just be learning. Now the video recording will be available, will be live tomorrow. Now we'll try to make sure that every video is live at most 12 hours. So some goes live in 3, 4, 5 hours. But we try to in worst case scenario that it should be live in 12 hours time max. So you get it by tomorrow online on YouTube. You could go watch it again. So if you subscribe on our YouTube channel, you should subscribe so that you can always get a notification once we push your class recording live. Yeah, so that being said, I think that brings us to the end of the class. Once again, thank you so very much, sir. We are very grateful. Thank you. Please, are we to use only HTML and CSS? Yes, just HTML and CSS because that's what you've covered for now. Right, so just HTML and CSS. As you proceed with learning other concepts, you'll be applying them on your on building your portfolio. Again, I would recommend that you take screenshot of the class, post it on your socials, tag your instructor, tag Dive Africa. The instructor's name is Adibe John. That's the full name. Just at Adibe John. Tag him, tag Dive Africa, and just share your journey. It's very important. So once you do your assignment, you could also share it. Tag us, tag your instructor. Let the world know that you're developing, you're growing. I mean, this can just put in the limelight of your next recruiter. You really can't tell. So, but for now, that brings us to the end of the class. Thank you so very much. The next conversation, the upcoming conversation will happen on your Slack channel. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Good night.